Hello again everyone, Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving a review of the astrological magazine called the Mountain Astrologer. And this is a magazine that's got a lot of astrological information, very pertinent information, and it's a great, I love the magazine. It was first published in 1987. It was started by someone named Tim Taraktar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but he initiated this magazine then, and it was done, I'm sure, I think likely it was on a small budget, and it gradually escalated and evolved, and it's become one of the more popular astrology magazines out there. And the thing is, again, it was first, he started this in 1987, and this magazine has a lot of provocative, deep, and insightful articles in it, very well written, very articulately and eloquently by many astrologers, ones that are where you have very prolific astrologers, right? You have ones that are very experienced, you have ones that are just starting out, so they don't show any really bias toward one or the other. People that are just new astrologers, contemporary ones, they have the means to be able to write for them, and which is great, and it gives people, a lot of astrologers, an opportunity to get their writings published in the magazine. Now, the magazine does cover a wide divergence of astrological subjects. You have you could be talking about, there's articles that are about significant astrological transits. They have delineations on the upcoming new and full moons, and celebrity horoscopes, and some things that are associated with important events. They have one, I believe, something on the pandemic, and astrology transits that can correlate with it, as an example. And it's just a lot of, you're just a plethora of astrological subjects that are covered in this magazine. This is something too where they also have, what I was going to say, the transits. They're having an article that's going to be published in it, if it hasn't been published already, on the correlation, the astrological transits and the correlation with the COVID-19 and depleted economy. These are very insightful, in-depth articles. And another thing too is that they don't forget important people. If somebody has passed away, and it's somebody prominent in the astrological community, they will, they're ones, I see them as generally acknowledging these people. When Tim Taraktar, he passed away in 2019, they had a very big tribute to him in an article in one of the issues of the Mountain Astrologer, and they basically paid tribute and homage to him through the article. And it was just this is something. They also are even acknowledging YouTube astrologers. They have a blog on there, I think it's a fairly recent one, which was entitled Astrological Voices on YouTube. So what it does is, it's an article which mentions various YouTube astrologers and the videos, and some videos that they have published. So what it does is, by doing this, it lets others be cognizant of YouTube astrologers, and they help give even more credibility to those people. And it lets, and by doing so, people that may not have known about YouTube astrologers previously, they become again cognizant of them at this point in time, and it can help the YouTube astrologers gain their viewership, their popularity, and also a means for astrology fans to find another outlet or avenue to learn astrology. So this is also too, and others that may have actually been oblivious to YouTube astrologers previously may actually be aware of them and become and learn astrology through them. But another thing too is that this magazine is one that is beneficial to people that might be novices in astrology, ones that are on the intermediate level, advanced level astrologers. It could just be for people that are enamored with astrology, that are fans of astrology and astrologers, because keep in mind that nobody, I don't think anybody knows everything about astrology. There's always new things to learn. Astrology is very multifaceted. It has a lot of different elements to it and aspects and branches of it, whether it's meteorological astrology, electional, mundane, political astrology. There are so many components of astrology, and you could study this, from your early part of your life, from like you're 15 years old, for example, and if you live to 80 and say you study astrology persistently for 65 years, you're not gonna. I think it would be arrogant and egotistical to think that one could amass all the knowledge of it, because it goes on infinitely. There's new things that are being discovered constantly that are connected with astrology. So really, I do say it's impossible to learn it. So even people that have an abundance or certified knowledge of astrology can learn from this magazine. And even has, and again, it's written very eloquently, articulately. And another thing about this too is that it even has some whimsical material, astrological humor. I thought it was funny when I saw the article that was paying tribute and homage to Tim Tartar, and they had a picture. I believe it was something that he drew, and it showed the different pictures, drawing. There were sketches of Capricorn, the zodiac sign Capricorn. He had like a face for Capricorn, which symbolized the different moods of Capricorn. It looked like the face basically was this. You had basically the same, almost the same serious face in all four pictures. You had maybe a slight deviation in each one. It was basically conveying that Capricorn can be so emotionless, basically, that they even when they're very animated or exuberant, their facial expression does not really deviate that much. And I got a kick out of it. It seemed like he had a robust sense of humor, being a Leo character. I think he had Leo sun as well. They not only have a sun disposition, their humor can be pretty good. It's not quite the same as Sagittarius, but it may not be far behind. But another thing is that what's good about this as well, the Mountain Astrologer magazine, is that it's available in digital online format and in written format. So for people out there that might like the written format, they're a little nostalgic. I kind of like written formats and magazines a lot, because it kind of brings me back to a different earlier time period. And sometimes it's just for some people it may be easier just to bring a magazine with them when they want to lay down and read and relax, than having to go online and read some and have to have to look at something online for whatever reason. So it's really, this magazine definitely has a lot of very good material in it. And again, even people that are very proficient in astrology can learn something from this. And I think too, the people out there that might be cynics and they might be skeptical of astrology might actually be able to reverse their way of thinking after reading enough of these articles extensively that are in this magazine, because the articles themselves, if people really read them thoroughly, the people that are skeptical of astrology even and try to debunk it can actually look and say, you know what, a lot of this is valid. A lot of this may actually be true. And another thing too is that Astro.com has collaborated with the Mountain Astrologer, and some of these articles can be found through Astro.com, Astrodeans, and this is something too, where again, some of those articles from the Mountain Astrologer can be found on at Astro.com. So this is it is just something that I would recommend for any astrology enthusiast, anybody that's just enamored with astrology, a student, some people that are on the novice, intermediate, or even advanced level of astrology, astrologers themselves, because again, anybody can learn from this, no matter what level you are in terms of your astrological knowledge. I give it 5 stars out of 5. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.